What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Toshi today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys. It is the 25th day of October, and instead of talking about the short-term stuff, I want to talk about the long-term stuff first. We'll get into the short-term stuff. We will. I think there's a lot to talk about. I mean, we're up 10% on the day, which is nice. 11% on the day, which is nice. But looking at this overall, again, I think it's important to zoom out. We look at this on the weekly time frame, and you can just see. I mean, first and foremost, you had a very bullish upbringing. A lot of people like the idea of the Toshi meme coin, right? Toshi, Brian Armstrong's cat, which is named after Satoshi Nakamoto. Anyways, um, very bullish there. And really, even after this initial drawback here, you've been in this very bullish trend. I know it seems like we're dealing with this drawback still, but I think if you just ignored this price action, it's really like we've been in this very consistent, concise, bullish channel moving higher, right? We are at the base here. Soon enough, and the reason why we're focusing on this, the reason why we talk about this, I think, in every single video so far, at least over the past few weeks, has been because we're right at this pinnacle moment, this breakout point where you've been building for arguably most of your life, right? I mean, not arguably, decisively, absolutely, definitively most of your life. You've been consolidating below this area. So the pressure's building. The breakout that's going to come from this is going to be spectacular. And I truly do expect that you're going to see something that is reminiscent of a move like this or like this. Maybe don't move up this much in a 2-week period, but in a 2-month period you might end up moving overall more. As in, by the end of the year, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a move that was bigger than this here from this, because again, you have a lot of pressure built up here. If we act like this doesn't exist, and I'm not just saying do that with any form of analysis, right? But I think it's very clear you are in some kind of channel to the upside here. Sometimes you wick below it, sometimes you wick above it, and that's fine, whatever. But the horizontal point where the pressure's being built, we're about to break that. And I think with that, you're going to break free of this range yet again, right? The first time we cut loose, you saw some spectacular growth. The next time you cut loose, I think it's going to be the same thing, right? And you're likely not going to stop here. However, with that being said, roughly just with the eyeball here, you can see you might find turbulence right at your all-time high. There might be a moment of turbulence there because not only that, but you also have this channels ascending trend line here that might provide turbulence as well. So perhaps you move up, you find a little turbulence here, and then you continue to break out. But one way or another, I do expect we're going to break out of this range overall. So this next move, it's going to be massive. Because again, really throughout this whole range, you haven't moved sideways quite like you have like this here. Throughout this whole range, it's been pretty consistent moving up. Maybe you move down here, you move up there. There's moments where you move sideways, but it's not months. It's like weeks at a time. So the fact that we've built up right here, I think that this breakout is going to be spectacular. Something truly spectacular is coming. And if we look at this from a high here to a low, the intended target area should be, or it not even should be, it is, first and foremost at about 0.0045 dollars. So right there at about half a cent. That's a 5.5x from here. So that's what's great about this, is that this is the minimum requirement. This is on the low end of things, is a 5.5x from here, right? Between now and let's say the end of November, if not even by the end of the year, but I'm expecting by the end of November we'll be here. Going further, it's very possible that we see a 1 cent price, and even beyond, because I'm not kidding. Whenever I say that we see a move that's akin to this, maybe it doesn't move up this much in a 2-week span, but perhaps by the end of the year, we're not just at 1 cent, but we're all the way up here at 2 cents or 2.6 cents. Toshi could genuinely see a 25 to a 32x in a very short amount of time. Maybe not by the end of November, but by the end of the year. And if these targets aren't achieved by the end of the year, then I would very much believe that we see them in January. We see them in early 2026. Progressively moving higher. There's going to be moments where you do consolidate. Of course, you'll probably find your moment to consolidate here, or maybe it's up here and you consolidate and then you move higher, whatever it is. But I do think that we have a few moves left in us this cycle, if not at least 2 moves left in us, in the sense of moving up from here, probably consolidate, right? And then going into March, April, May, we continue, we finish off, we have our finale phase in the cycle, something like that. We've probably got one big move, consolidation, another big move, and then we're done. And with this here, I think it's acceptable to expect a price target of like 5.2 cents or more. That'd be a 60x, 66x from here to potentially something as much as like a 150x. And we could see further growth in that. We absolutely could grow further than that, but I think something between about a 12 cent to a 5.2 cent price is appropriate. That's the most appropriate to consider. At a bare minimum by the end of the cycle, at a bare minimum, man, you're going to be above 2 cents. But I can't imagine that we stop there. I mean, we really could be at 2 cents by the end of the year, let alone the end of the cycle. Um, but just fantastic things await, right? Fantastic things await. And again, it all starts here with this ascending channel, this boiling point, this pressure point here where we are about to break, right? And that should send a domino effect, cascading the price higher over time. If we look at this now, we shift gears. We look at the 1 hour time frame here. Let's look at Coinbase, where there's actually some volume. Is Toshi on Binance? Just the perps. Okay, just the perps are on Binance. Oh wow, no, Toshi is on Binance. When did that happen? When did Toshi? Have I just not known? Since August, huh? I didn't know that. Okay. Toshi's on Binance. I had no idea. There is all this talk about CZ and Brian Armstrong not liking each other, Binance and Coinbase being at odds ends. But here they are promoting Brian's cat's coin since August, right? And Coinbase has BNB listed on it too. It's nice to see them working it out, right? Working together. Anyways, Coinbase here, more volume, more data. Looking at the 1 hour time frame, a lot of volume on this pump, not so much on the second occurrence here. This is probably not financial advice, not a financial advisor. This is probably a get out point, and then we probably come back down and then move up, right? Form a higher low and then move up higher. It is the weekend. It is Saturday. Treacherous price action takes place here, so dumps are for buying, pumps are for selling, probably. The RSI looks great. It looks really good. Maybe you come up a little bit, find a lower high, and then you correct back down and you go lower. Stochastics look like they want to move higher, and the MACD looks like it wants to move higher too. So again, I think that this attempt you'll probably find resistance on, but I think you have a little bit more to go. So you probably go, you're at 3079 right now. You might go up to like 3081, 3084, something in that zone, maybe even a little bit higher. That's fine. Let's actually look and see what an appropriate stopping point might be. Let's take this high to low here, high right here to a low right here. Oh, look at you. You actually look super good, man. I like this behavior. Maybe you do push higher. Maybe Toshi, you actually are pushing up to your golden ratio like promptly. 3088 to 3091. Something in that zone at the golden ratio there. Let's look at these indicators again and just see. I mean, you're bouncing off your 50. Cool. I can get with it. Getting overbought again. Cool. So MACD looks great. Yeah. I think I might have misspoke. I think that this is where you're going to go. Yeah, that makes sense. You're probably going to get just above this high point here, or maybe right to it. Find turbulence there, find some resistance there. Let's put some lines right here. Let me just show you, right? We're going to put some horizontal lines here. Right there, and right there, right at the golden ratio zone. We'll delete the fib and just see that this is an area where we found resistance before, support before, resistance, resistance, support right there. Somewhat significant area, at least as of late. It makes sense that's where you go before you top off. So that's the expectation there. We're probably going to go up to, again, 00088 to 00091, something in that range, and then we'll consolidate. We'll go up here, and then we'll likely consolidate. We'll pull back either to 3082 or 3077, or most likely something in between, and then continue on our merry way. The way that I have it drawn here will be that going into Sunday, we'll have our high. Maybe even the end of today, we'll have our high. And then the ending parts of Sunday, I wouldn't be surprised if Sunday started off with a bang but ended with a whimper. And then Monday might even open up to the downside, but then Tuesday or late Monday, we should be recovering. Going into the rest of the week, I would expect that Toshi does progress to prices that are above 001, 0011 even by the end of next week. Let's see where we're going. Looking at the daily time frame. Did we look at all of our indicators on the 4 hour? RSI looks great. Stochastics look good. MACD is just crossing above the zero. Yeah, you've definitely got the template for expansion laid out before you here. 308 right now, up 10.6% on the day. What do I want to take? I want to take this high. Let's take this high to low. Let's do this because I think we're playing off of this, right? Yeah, you're finding support at the golden ratio here. You've consolidated enough. I mean, man, really, you really are ready. You really are ready. I want to look at this on the Toshi 3 chart. We don't need volume anymore. I just want to look at it here because this high isn't going to be the actual high. I want to be specific here. Let's see. High to low. Okay, so this would be our primary target zone, 1272 to the 1618. So we probably stop somewhere in the middle. Look at this, our daily closing high right there, right at the 1414. I really wouldn't be surprised, guys, if by the end of this month of October, if we were all the way up at like 0015, 0014, 0013 at a minimum, maybe higher, but something there. If we're not there by the end of October, then the very beginning of November, and then we come down. But I wouldn't be surprised at all. I'm forecasting it right now. We're going to see some nice movement between now and the end of this month. Let's see, from this current price, that's anything. I mean, dude, we could see a 60% pump. Maybe a 9, that would be nuts. 60 to 90% pump. Doesn't mean that it'll happen. You know, inevitably it will happen, but it doesn't have to happen the way that I'm outlining it. Maybe, I don't know. Regardless of the timing of it all, just understand that this is the next target area, is 0013 to 0018. Okay, this is the next target area. And if it goes the way that I think it will, we should be here by the end of the month, probably on the lower ends of this range by the end of the month. And then early November, we'll come back down, we'll consolidate, we'll find support at prior resistance. And then that's when the real magic starts, because that's when we're going to break out of this overall trend that we've been in for several months now. Cool. Like almost a year, really, actually, that we've been in this trend. Longer, over a year, actually, I think. Fantastic. Toshi looks really good here, you guys. And again, I want to remind you all, not financial advice. It's not a financial advisor. We absolutely can find turbulence. You know, maybe I was onto something with my first look. Maybe we are pulling back down to, 3076, 30774, whatever it might be. You know, we can absolutely pull back, and that's fine if we do. 3072, who cares? You know, anything in that area. If we do pull back, everything that we've just talked about is still going to happen. It's just going to be from a point of a higher low, and that's okay. Looking at the weekly time frame here. I love the weekly RSI. I mean, this RSI is spectacular, is it not? It's absolutely spectacular. You're going to hit that overbought zone soon enough. I really do think November is going to be the month for you. November, December, going into the end of the year, it's going to be spectacular. Stochastics are shaped up. It's really odd that you're just moving sideways here at the 50, but hey, whatever. It's more of a bullish posturing than a bearish posturing, and the MACD looks great as well. So we're just waiting, man. We're waiting for some life to come in, and I'm assuming that there's going to be some kind of catalyst across the board for various cryptos in the market that'll just send everything higher. Toshi's definitely on the chopping block to break out here, man. It's gonna see some fantastic growth in a very short amount of time. I've got nothing else for you guys. Thank you all for being here. Hit the like button, subscribe, take care of yourselves, all right? Bye-bye.